Hello, my name is Kenneth Young, and this is a presentation for Dr. Christensen's Accounting 6650 Ethics Seminar. And it is on the Giving Voice to Values case in Chapter 3 about Franklin Industries. And so quickly, the facts of the case are that Franklin Industries is a publicly traded company, so they're under the purview of the SEC. And one of their accountants, named Natalie Garson, she reported to HR that she thought there was some fraud going on. And the fraud was that she noticed that payments to a construction company were about $5 million, and no one knew who this construction company was. It was called Vic Construction, and upon digging more, she found that a department manager named Denny King had authorized payment to this construction company, and that on even further review, they found that Vic Construction was actually owned by Denny King's sister. And when this was brought to the attention of the internal auditors, they looked at it more and they saw that Vic Construction then later transferred $5 million back to Denny King's personal account. And so it was pretty clear that there was some kind of embezzlement and fraud going on with the related party that wasn't disclosed and didn't look proper. So Natalie reported that to her HR, or whoever in the company was in charge of investigating these things, and they dismissed her and dismissed the embezzlement, and she was demoted from a manager to just a staff position, and she attributed this to her whistleblowing. And so she talked with her friend who had worked at Franklin for longer than she had. His name was Roger, and he told her that the culture of the company was don't rock the boat, and that the board of directors and the CEO were really tight knit, and that there was some insider relations going on. And so the idea was don't pursue this any further. It's just going to hurt your career, and that's not how things work at this company, more or less. And she wasn't satisfied with that, and so she was wondering what to do next. And so going through the giving voice to values steps on what to do, you need to identify what the rationalizations are, why they would want to do this. So really it seems like Denny King just wants money, and what he's doing he probably knows is criminal, but if he has other motivations, they might be that he deserves this money, that the company owes him this money, that maybe he's entitled to it as a department manager, that he has these perks that he can take advantage of and have payments come to himself. Maybe that he thinks the transaction is proper, and that maybe Vic Construction did give some service to the company, and so this is an actual payment. Another rationalization is that the culture of the company is don't rock the boat, and this kind of thing happens, and you can get away with it, and it's really not a big a deal. Mostly, I guess the idea is everyone does it, and so I can do it too. Maybe this was an attempt to manipulate some financial ratios by increasing expenses or decreasing assets. That could be a possible reason as well. So the key parties that are involved are Natalie, Franklin Industries itself, Denny King, obviously, Roger. Everybody has something at stake. So Natalie's is obviously her career and her integrity. She doesn't want to sacrifice either of those things. Franklin Industries is losing money because of this, and obviously they can also sacrifice their reputation as a company if they allow this to happen. Denny King he's faced with possible criminal charges with embezzling money, and so that's something that might frighten him as well. And then Franklin's stockholders, kind of the same as the company, they're losing money as well. So the levers that can be used to persuade others to act in the way Natalie wants is, in this case, the biggest one I think is criminal charges. You can threaten people or face them with the idea of going to prison. That's not a happy thought. The company itself, such as the board of directors, they can be persuaded that they're losing money by allowing this fraud to happen, and that they need to stop it if they want to stop that cash from fleeing from their company. Roger, who's afraid to take a stand at his company, can be persuaded on moral grounds or also on his reputation that he should stand for what's legal and what's right. And possibly Vic Construction can be made to admit to the fraud in face of criminal charges. I think the most powerful tool is probably the criminal charges. That is a very scary thought, especially if it's pretty clear that what you've done is illegal and wrong, which it seems to be in this case. The appeal for this should be made to the board of directors. Even though they are tight-knit, they are a publicly traded company, and so the SEC regulations and audits would be such that I think it would probably scare them into action. And I think it should happen as soon as possible, especially assuming if all of the evidence that's presented in the case is solid and sturdy and would hold up in court. So if Natalie does these things, I think that she can be successful in being able to have her values be exhibited in her workplace.